The issue with the AI is it is not a new technology as much as it is a tool. That this tool, you add it to anything, and it's going to do three things to any task. Going to do the task more accurate, faster, and cheaper. And you will notice something else. You're going to see that we hear a lot about the layoffs going on in the Valley. The reason for this one, mostly because of the AI, because companies realize that I don't need to have 5 people to do that work. I can do it with 2 plus AI. And when they have this kind of mentality and mindset, you're a CEO of the company. I came to you and I told you, listen, I can have this program or this tool where you can save money and time and staff. Those are the 3 things that the business people are looking for. Then you can say, okay, sit down, let's start. And you can prove that. I heard from so many of my friends who own companies or started a company, they say the email communication is better now because they're using that, the ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever tool they have there, just to make sure that they have a better understanding. The code is better. Why? Because just they can throw the code on the tool and it can just read it and make it better and look for the bugs. Technically speaking, and I was talking to my student yesterday in one of the classes, which is about computing and ethics, I was talking to them about it and I told them, okay, look at it this way. We have a very good friend of yours. That friend cares about you so much, but that friend is the smartest person on the planet. So every time you're doing something, you're going to tell you can do it better this way. That is AI for you. It's not replacing you. It's assisting you to be better. And the companies look at this one, they say, this is how we look at it. They say, I don't need 10,000 employees. I can go with 5,000. I will save in the space, the office space. I'll save in the salaries and the benefits. And the AI will never take a vacation, will never complain, will never have benefits. So I'm saving money on all this. And this is why it's attractive. From one side, you see companies are building. From one side, you see companies are reducing the workforce. So it's not like the .com where you just add .com. And I remember those days like it's yesterday. You add .com to your business and people are going to throw money on you like crazy.
That's the best explanation of AI I've heard. That completely proves why you have won the Instructor of the Year award so many times. And I really admire you sharing in-depth analysis about AI.
Now, in the world of AI, one of the most important skill you need is actually not creating a model, but distributed systems, because you will distribute your models across many GPUs. But many students struggle to learn because, first of all, you guys have to get on a cloud platform like Amazon AWS, Google GCP, or Microsoft Azure, and they are very expensive. But I got you all covered because there is a platform with which you can access all 3 cloud platforms with hands-on training on these 3 cloud platforms to learn Docker, Kubernetes, DevOps, distributed systems, and all in one place thanks to Code Cloud. And Code Cloud was also a sponsor of KubeCon, where I got to know about it. And this platform has had almost 1 million plus students, and you can be part of the community if you check out my link in the description below. And I promise these skills will help you in the future in understanding system design plus infrastructure, which is important to be in AI. Get the special discount with my link in description below.
And now, talking about the scams you mentioned, right? .com had those scams, and I want to compare currently those are happening too. And they are the ones actually done by the top CEOs. They say that AI will not take their jobs, but silently behind the scenes, it is. There are many more one-person companies being created now as compared to before. There are many companies thriving with like 20% of the employees as compared to bigger companies. They are not showing that in real life as compared to their hiring. Oh, it's not going to take your job. But at the end of the day, behind the scenes, it is. Shopify CEO, there's a leak from Shopify that the firing happened because of AI, not because of any other data. It just leaked. So now, what do you think about it in terms of job cuts? What are your opinions?
We will have a lot of job cuts on the short term. This is the transition period. But on the long term, it's going to be, the difference will be positive. The reason for this is the following. As we go through this transition period where people realize how wonderful is AI and how much they can save out of it, from the other side of the story, we start hearing about new positions, new jobs like prompt engineer, AI ethicist, auditing, people who know how to, check the code for the AI and at the same time, and I was explaining this one again to the engineers, in that conference. What we are dealing with now is the core of the companies that creating the AI, and the customers are here. Usually, you will have a second layer of companies that will take the products, modify them. They call them value-added resellers, VAR, and then give it to them. And I have one of my friends. He was asking. He said, I would like to do this and this and this, but it was the AI, but I don't want to hire a software engineer. It's very expensive. Now, this is the layer that's going to start growing, which is you're going to find companies, they call them the middleware, the middle, companies, where those companies, what they're going to do is, we understand what OpenAI is doing. We understand what Anthropic is doing. We know what Google Gemini is doing. We need the API for all of them. And then what do you want? I want this and this one. They can connect you together. OpenAI is not going to do that for you because they're busy creating their own products. So that is exactly what happened with companies, for example, like Cisco, companies like Microsoft. All those companies, they have products, but they're not going to every single company or every single person and say, we're going to install that with you. You hire people, you find companies who will customize that for you. So we're waiting for that next wave, which is people going to benefit from that. And the fear here is legitimate fear. There is no question about it, because people would like to save money. They're worried about the economy. We have seen the layoffs that happened in 2022 and 2023 is not because of the AI at the beginning. It was because of the overhiring we have seen during the pandemic, and they overestimated the need of the online services. I mean, companies like Meta and companies like Google and companies like Microsoft and all those companies, they overhired people. And then they say, okay, well, when people go back to work, they're going to still need the same level of services online. They found that that's not true. But here comes November of 2022. ChatGPT is in the news. Took the word about 2 months to know what is that. 2023, I call it the year of understanding, discovering AI, generative AI. 2024 is the year of applications.
Absolutely.
And this is where we are standing.
And currently majority, or like at least more than 50% of the layoffs have some sort of relationships with AI.
Correct.
And that's maybe hidden because of the positive words thrown by the CEO that no, AI is not taking jobs, but behind the scene it is actually so true.
Yes.
And it is scary. Now, since you have been professor from the last 20 years, and you have seen the hype changing every single time, blockchain, right, IoT. So how's your experience? Like, do you think the hype of IoT and blockchain a little bit decreasing over the years? Do you think that like the engineers who maybe are thinking of studying that, should they not focus on that? Should they only focus on what the hype is for? For example, AI, maybe a little bit of engineering. What do you think? How can a student decide their major better in terms of computer science? Because there's so many fields and it's hard to decide.
Okay, so that's a very good question. If you look at the technologies that we went through, there's always a big question about it. Okay, so now we start talking about cloud computing. Cloud computing is still there. Certification is still there. People hiring for cloud computing. Actually, cloud computing is the reason for us to still stay in business or stayed in business during the pandemic, because the Zoom and all these companies using cloud computing.